right, this is the Monica Sanford Show. Welcome, and I talk to anybody I want to talk to about whatever I want to talk about, and today it's two fabulous fashionista guests here that I had to bring on the show because I saw them online. I was like, they're beautiful. I got to bring them on for my first video ever podcast, vlogcast, whatever you call it. I know. Yay. So welcome, Paulette Martin.
Hello, darling. I'm very honored to be here.
And
big surprise. So, to quote a vampire movie one time, what do I owe this dubious pleasure? Thank you so much.
Oh my God, this is going to be so fun. And this is actually just water in our cups. No. And Pamela Bolado. Is that how you say your last name?
It is how you say it. And thank you so much. I was very, very honored when you reached out and wanted to have me. So thank you.
I saw you at an event. I'm like, I have to have her on. And with Paulette, this is going to be fabulous. So let's get it started. We're going to go to Paulette first. Paulette Martin is the owner of Nouveau Catering. And this is how the story I got to get you on my show. I was at work, and somebody came up to me and held up a picture of you on your Facebook and said, doesn't she look like a young Fran Drescher nanny on one of your pictures? And I'm like, oh my God, who is this? So we started, stalking your Facebook. And so we're looking, and I'm like, oh my God, all that food. Oh my God, all those hats. Oh my God, all that fashion. Literally everything was, oh my God, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? I need to know more. So we kept looking, and then I'm like, you have your own show or your live feeds or your YouTube or whatever it is that we're going to get into. Mm-hmm. But that's how I was like, okay, so Miss Fabulous, fashionista, chef, caterer, hats, dresses. So the hats, the dresses, the amazing food, all of that together. But you are also a very accomplished chef. Thank you. Very, very accomplished. You just did the Blue Angels homecoming air show. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you so much. What a great introduction. And I have people tell me that all the time, Fran Drescher. I hear that I'll be in the grocery store. You look like that lady, Fran Drescher. So anyways, Thank you. I take that as a compliment. And wow, I mean, accomplished chef. I appreciate that. But so I have had my business. February 1st would be 23 years.
Oh, wow.
I opened my business in 2000. Okay, so February 1st, 2000, and I was only 29 years old. So, oops, sorry, I let the button out how old I am. Very old, getting up
problem.
There. So anyways, and so I've had the business, and I've always done like a little bit of combination. I'm technically a pastry chef, so I've been doing high-end pastry, wedding cakes, things like that for a long time, but I've also been doing catering. I was doing catering long before I even went to culinary school, and I was actually a teacher, and I would throw these elaborate, I was an English and debate teacher.
I was going to say, what did you teach?
I taught
what
English
grade?
and debate, high school.
Oh, cute.
I taught that for years. I had an English degree, a bachelor's degree before I started this, and I love to throw my own parties. And people would always say, you should do this for a living. And I was like, well, golly, you mean I might be able to make some money doing it? And they were like, yeah. So anyway, so that's
that was one of my questions. Mm-hmm. Is how did you get into, one, being a chef?
Right.
And two, go from being a chef to being a fabulous fashionista chef that every time you show your food, it's literally, if you haven't seen her Facebook, you got to go check it out. It's all the fabulous dresses and hats and everything you're presenting, not just this food that looks great, but you look great showing it. So
okay, so that's an interesting story. So that is thanks to COVID.
Okay.
So in 2020, when everything shut down and we couldn't do my business because we weren't allowed, I said, you know what, I'm gonna start my own little online cooking show. And I thought, you had to have all this great equipment and stuff like that. And this young video producer said to me, all you need is a cell phone. I was like, really? You couldn't do just a cell phone? And so when I was trying to come up with a little niche, my friend goes, you should wear hats, Paulette. You have all those hats. You should wear your hats. And I was like, okay, darling, well, let me. So I think it just kind of, right around the same time, my weird church decided that I could be a greeter. They gave me that responsibility. And I said, well, I'm going to wear a hat. every week. So now I'm the crazy hat lady at my church.
Oh, cute.
And, everybody's like, oh, does everybody wear a hat at your church? I'm like, no, I'm just going to bring it back.
Well,
so
now
I'm like,
you will
let's bring back
now
hats.
people will recognize you when you have the hat on. So
Thank you. So it just kind of that became. So I started an online cooking show, and my online cooking show is called Naughty to Nice.
Well, that was my next question: is how can they find that show? Because I have to check it out.
Yeah. So basically, it is, I take a recipe that's a little bit naughty and I convert it and make it nice by changing an ingredient or two to make it a little healthier or.
Naughty meaning to
like it's
high
like
calorie
bad.
or?
Well, it just depends. I mean, so it could be maybe somebody's allergic to almonds, so they can't have almonds in a cake, or they're allergic to eggs or whatever. It all started, the whole concept was buzzing around in my idea when and when I was in my early 40s, I developed Hashimoto's. So I have hypothyroidism since I was 12 years old. And it morphed into this lovely thing called Hashimoto's, which when your body attacks itself. And I started getting severe hives, and I went on an autoimmune paleo diet, and it changed my life. Well, since then, I've put it in remission, and so sometimes I kind of fall off the wagon.
Customize for even medical conditions, it sounds like. I mean, you can...
Absolutely. So whether it's sugar, I mean, pretty much, no matter what the diet, it seems like most diets, sugar's the thing they got to cut.
Right.
So in a lot of my recipes, they're keto or ketogenic. They cut out sugar. A lot of times I'll focus on good fats. So even like a vegan could, do a lot of my recipes. But it just depends. I mean, if you're doing something like what, Pam, I'm sure is all about macros, huh? To have that fabulous...
We're going to get into
her fabulous athletic body. She counts those macros, man. I just try to be like sugar-free.
I'm eating for hormones now, let me tell you. I'm
girl. And you and once you reach a certain age, don't talk to any young male trainers because they don't understand. They don't understand.
You need to eat this to burn it better or work out better or things like that after a certain age, which I am. So, so what is your favorite food to prepare for a large event? Like if you had a large event coming and you said, y'all need to absolutely have this.
I'm a business owner, so I'm going to tell you the thing that's the easiest for me to do that you will love and that,
do you have a specialty?
I can make money off of. That's you know what I mean? So I know that sounds funny because it's like, what do you like to make? What is profitable? They're different because,
100%. What's your specialty?
Yeah.
Like what's going to be on the menu every time almost?
Oh, almost every time. Oh, well, I do this fabulous dish called chicken nouveau, which is chicken stuffed with spinach and artichoke with a really nice creamy sauce. And I serve it with pasta, or if you're like, oh, I'm on a low-carb diet, then I'll probably serve it with like some kind of alternative zucchini zoodle or something like that. So
that's a question too. What's your favorite to make either? Because you said pastas. Is it pasta or desserts?
Girl,
do you like...
I love me some Italian food.
Okay.
So I'm all about making a keto lasagna or, with zucchini or squash, which is so fresh and wonderful in the summer. Of course, we can all get zucchini and squash then.
So what is if you're at home with your family or whatever, you by yourself even, what is your favorite go-to food? I have to have this, I love it. What's with a chef, you have to go, what do they like? What are those like just to eat by themselves?
Okay, so I'll tell you what's always in my cupboard, and that is anything hot. Because I grew up in New Orleans. I was born in Mercy Hospital in New Orleans.
Okay. Cajun
so
spicy?
I like some kick. Okay. I like some kick. So I have all kinds of spice. My best girlfriend, she's from Mexico, so she's always throwing some stuff in there.
Nice.
So I've usually got some hot salsa around I can throw in.
Do you make tamales? Do you make any kind of Mexican or...
Tamales, I don't think we've done on the show, but actually I'm sure you probably know, I call little J-Lo, Jennifer Lowry. I know you guys know her. I call her my little J-Lo.
Well, we're going to get into her when I transition here, the next statement.
She came on my show, and we did... not empanadas. What did we do? Oh, sopas.
Enchiladas.
Sopas.
Sopapillas, yeah.
Sopa. Oh, I never even had those things.
Fabulous, yeah.
Yeah, but
I just talked to her.
Yeah.
I'm going to have her on my show in 23.
She's awesome.
She's fun. I love her. I just talked to her too.
She's a trip.
Let me ask you one quick question that has been burning on my mind from a chef. What is your personal favorite, if you have one, if they're really, and I kind of know the answer, but the box delivery meals. Like if you have a box delivery meal and
Okay.
they say chef prepared and you could prepare it in your house and it looks chef
Sure.
prepared, are they real? Like you cook them and they like,
Oh, yeah,
say,
so,
this
yeah.
really looks like a chef prepared it.
Right. So that's funny you should say that. Actually, HelloFresh had sponsored my channel, my Twitch channel. And a lot of times people will be like, oh, it's not a long-term sponsorship. It's usually a campaign. And then I had Magic Spoon. Also, I did a campaign with them. And they were wonderful. I was preparing their meals, and they're terrific. I also got a third campaign offer, but I had to refuse it because of the timing. I'm hoping in January they'll do it again. But it is actually called...
So you're preparing their meals for them?
Yes. Well,
like
it's
a
called
real chef
Factor
prepares
75.
them.
Yeah. So actually, they send those meals to
Okay.
me, and then I made like a certain amount by people that had new subscriptions, and that was kind of like my
Really?
first big like campaign that I did.
So they are actually prepared by chefs.
Yes,
Okay,
And, but
okay.
they send you the ingredients and they give you the recipes
Right.
and then you prepare them. So I was preparing those.
Okay.
But yeah, so. I mean, but those are wonderful for people that are staying at home, and especially if you're trying to keep on track. But I was offered a new one called Factor 75. Actually, HelloFresh bought it. It was a British company, and they're more keto, low carb. Whereas the HelloFresh meals, you really had to convert because they don't have as many like low carb.
Yeah, they look all
do
too
have
good
more
to be healthy.
vegan, etc. But the level,
Don't hate me, HelloFresh, but yeah, they all look too great to be very healthy.
But yeah, all of those are easy though. But I mean, my cook's so simple at home. I mean, like, give me piece of fish, throw it in the
that's me. I
air
love fish.
fryer with some vegetables.
I'm
good.
fish and grilled chicken.
That's
I'm good.
it.
So
you
we're
know?
going to transition to
Okay.
my next guest here.
Awesome.
But you mentioned Jennifer Lowry because I'm going to. My next guest used her at an event.
Yes.
And I've talked to Jennifer recently, and hopefully at some point we can have it. Again, you're friends with her, correct?
Yes,
Paulette.
absolutely.
And so hopefully there can be some collaboration with some big event coming up.
Absolutely.
And y'all just keep in mind the American Heart Gala coming up.
Yep.
So. But so hopefully I'm going to have her on, and she is fun, and she's a great chef too.
Yes,
so
she's
and you
wonderful.
yeah. So and it made your event. So we're switching now to Pamela Bolado. So she is you can correct me if I'm wrong, but CEO, founder of the Mission Wonder Woman Foundation. Y'all just had your celebrity poker tournament, which we're going to get into. But the Mission Wonder Woman Foundation is all about giving resources, opportunities for sex trafficking victims. So you can definitely go into that. I saw you at a huge supporter of the Veterans Foundation dinner.
Yeah.
My husband's a Marine Corps. Everybody that listens to this show knows. Been married to a Marine for 32 years. So you can tell us about Matt if you want. That's his name, right? Matt.
It is.
So, and so start with that. Tell us about the Mission Wonder Woman Foundation.
Okay.
And welcome, Pamela.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me. And wow, what great ladies I'm surrounded by. So, but Mission Wonder Woman started during COVID, funny enough. But it transpired because I had started my organization, which is Women Who Do Wonders International. It started as sharing stories of women from around the world and how extraordinary they are. And because I'd been immersed in so many different cultures over the years and been connected, knowing people who had gone through some trafficking, I really wanted there to be a core to Women Who Do Wonders. So I wanted there to be a sister foundation
cool name.
to my organization. So Women Who Do Wonders, and the sister organization is Mission Wonder Women. And what we do is
And you do wonders, so that is a very appropriate name.
I try. But yeah, I created it to be able to provide opportunities. So it started as providing wellness resources, and we've developed now in 2023 to be able to launch our author scholarships. So it's giving survivors the opportunity to write their stories and heal through that. And then our entrepreneur program is starting in March. So it's going to put
And
them
you
through.
work with other organizations. I know Sarah Lefevers. I was just sat with her at a Baptist Foundation Women's Board the other day. She is amazing in that arena as well. And one of your poker players, a good friend of mine, Madrina Ciano, so she was there. She was doing poker playing. I don't know how she did, but she had fun, and
Yeah.
it raised a lot of money for the
did.
foundation. So it actually and you had big players there. You had some big names, the 11 Papatonio group, things like that brought in a lot of awareness, because I have to tell you, I did not know about this until Madrina had invited a bunch of ladies, and I just couldn't go. I was working that night. But it was, so you brought a bunch of heavy hitters to that. So to bring awareness to such a great cause with a fun event.
Yes.
So tell us about that event.
Well, it was scary to put it on. I'm not
bet.
going to lie, because we, as a military family, I mean, we had just moved here about a year ago. So I used this last year to sort of get out and network and try to meet as many people as I could. And so I thought, I really want these programs to launch, but I have to put something together that's going to bring the awareness out in the community.
Well, you did it
and
in a big way, let me tell you.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to put together this event. I love doing dinner parties, so I can put together a really big dinner party and just make it fun. And that's how I did it.
Well, it was fun. It looked fun. It looked blingy. It looked over the top. It looked like it did exactly what you wanted it to do. So congratulations. That looked like an amazing event. And hopefully it'll be annual and I can go next year.
Yes.
So tell us real quick, before the show, we were talking about you living in Kuwait. I was going to ask you, so I saw a picture of you at the USO in Kuwait. And because I had gone to Kuwait in 2010, I took an event to the U.S. Through Armed Forces Entertainment, and we stopped at the USO, things like that. So it's been quite many years since I've been there. But I saw this picture, and you lived in Kuwait.
I
So
did.
tell us about that.
So originally from Canada, a lot of people don't know that. So originally from Canada, I met my ex-husband in Canada, but he was originally from Kuwait. So he had grown up there. I was very young. We moved to England. I lived in England for a while. And then one day he said, well, let's give Kuwait a try.
So you weren't in Kuwait with the military at that time?
No, I was a civilian.
Cool. Oh, very neat.
Yeah, I was a civilian. So I moved there at 23.
Oh, wow.
And this is before 9/11. And and I was there during 9/11 and ended up staying there during Operation Iraqi Freedom. I was one
Wow.
of the few foreigners who stayed in the country because my ex-husband's family wouldn't leave. And then I felt like, I can't go back to Canada and watch everything from afar, so I'm going to stay. And I had to build a shelter in my house, and I mean, we can get into that another time, but lived through all of that
I knew it was very
anyway.
interesting. That's why I had to ask you when we're doing the show, because it literally was, when I had gone there, I loved it, actually. I was there in Kuwait just a few days, and then we went to Mosul, Iraq, and then back to Kuwait for the show. So it was probably the most ingrained in my head experience that you will ever face is being in Kuwait. So amazing that you lived there and know the entire culture and
Yes.
lived on both
And
sides.
the language.
And oh my gosh, what do you speak?
I speak Kuwaiti
Is it
Arabic.
Kuwaiti? Arabic?
Well, there's different dialects. So every
Okay.
country has a little bit of a different dialect. So, but I had so many friends from Lebanon, Saudi, Jordan,
Oh, wow.
Egypt.
Oh, my gosh.
So I can kind of pinpoint now all the different dialects. So
Very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. And on that, the military side of it, your husband is he Navy or Marine?
he's Air Force.
Air Force, sorry. So because and I bring that up because you're starting, or are you starting the Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce?
That's correct. Yeah.
Because I saw the tickets. I definitely want to go. I already cleared my schedule. I don't know if their tickets still available.
They
even.
are,
Okay,
yes.
good. So I'll be there. But so tell us about that, and what is that for? Is it just for military spouses' businesses, or what?
It is. So after I had moved here, I met a Navy spouse, and we were talking, and I was saying, there's not a whole lot here for military spouses, and there wasn't a lot even then for veterans, veteran-owned businesses, and if there was, I still couldn't find a lot of resources. So I said, well, there isn't one here, might as well make one. So I had a lot of good friends, some in D.C. that had actually launched a national military spouse chamber, and so I said, you know what, can we start a chapter? And they said, well, we don't have any, and I said, well, let's be the first one. So Northwest Florida is the first national chapter of the Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce. And
So where's the next closest one then? Are they just like near military bases or what's? do
well,
you know?
we are. I
You're
move
the first
around.
one.
We're the first one. So
Okay, the first one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we are it.
Oh, cool. So
yeah.
who do you have so far coming to your? Is it an event or
Yep.
it's just
So this year we've done.
you're reaching out to a lot of military
yes,
spouses.
Yes. So we're working with the different bases. I mean, we have 4 or 5 all in our area here. So reaching out to all of those communities, just letting them know, because a lot of people don't realize that military spouses are the highest demographic of unemployment in our country. And yeah, with all of the deployments and
Right.
you know, you're a parent and your
Yeah,
husband's
no.
out training, you know.
Well, and I'm part of the West Florida Defense Alliance, the WIFTA group here, and we did a lot on trying to get, and Admiral Victor Hall led our working group on getting spouses of military personnel when they come to Florida to be able to easy transition with their licensing, nursing, things like that to get into the business
getting
world,
better.
workforce development.
It's getting
It is.
better.
It's very,
There's still a lot of
100%.
nuts and bolts that aren't all put together. You
But
know,
if you're a
so-
massage therapist or you do hair, whatever you have a license in, we want you to come here
Yes.
and know that you can,
transfer that over easily.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, very cool. You're going to have those. So I'm going to have at my next WIFTA meeting, hopefully, when's that event? When's your event?
Well, the actual launch of our chapter, which is in this area, we're hosting it at Maserati. So Step One's
Right.
our sponsor, and that's on January 26th, and it's on Eventbrite, so you can find the tickets on there. If you look Northwest Florida Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce, you'll find our event.
Nice. So definitely, I will share that too at our next West Florida Defense Alliance meeting, so they can share it. I used to be a key wife volunteer 30 plus years ago with the Marine Corps, so it was that's what I used to do. But fun facts, real quick. You do what, fitness competitions, and you were Miss Florida. Or
I
what,
did.
What did I see?
Okay, so
Yeah,
I have
clear
been
that.
just
Literally, I saw pictures. I'm like, wait,
clear
am I
the
having
air
Miss
here.
Florida
Yeah.
on my show? Yes.
So, having lived in the Middle East for a very long time, I kind of didn't go outside of a bubble that I was in. So when I moved back to Canada and divorced and actually moved here to the U.S. in 2016, I thought, you know what? I didn't do this and I didn't do this. And you know what? I could probably do it. I'm 40 at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do things that I wish I would have done in my 20s and I didn't do them. And so that's how it came about. So my husband deployed, and the day he deployed, I was, 30% body fat, three
gosh.
C-sections, never, I was an athlete
Nice.
a long time ago. But anyway, I said that day, by the time you get back from your deployment, I am going to be so fit that I'm going to beat you in your fitness, because I know that
That is
what
so
they
funny,
do.
and that
I
totally
did.
hits home. Just because my husband deployed one time, and literally I've done this was years ago now, but when he left, then I started doing crazy triathlons every weekend, and I was getting yes, you have to,
Yeah.
or you will go stir crazy. It's like literally you put yourself back as first and take care of your kids and
Yep.
do what you have to do, but you are an independent person when your spouse leaves.
Yeah.
So man or woman, when your spouse leaves, you take care of yourself and your family.
Absolutely. And there's a lot more to it, too, because I had launched Women Who Do Wonders. I thought, I want to walk the walk that I'm telling women
Yes,
that they can
exactly.
achieve.
Yeah.
So I did the athletic competition. I walked out in 5 months winning top prize at the age of 40. I mean, I was beating out the
Okay.
20-year-olds. So I am very proud
Heck yeah,
to
congratulations.
say that.
That's amazing.
And then I went on to compete for United States of America's Mrs. Florida. And I was born with a cleft lip. So doing a pageant like that was something I never thought I
They
could
did
do.
an amazing job.
Well,
Holy
thank you. I've
moly,
had
you're
3
surgeons.
surgeries. I've had 3 surgeries
Oh
over
my
my
gosh.
over my
Gorgeous.
years. So, but yeah. Anyway, it's spiraled. I've climbed to base
When was
camp.
the Miss Florida thing?
That was November. What year are we? 2022. That was 2021.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that research is
Yeah,
awesome.
because I had
I
done
had Miss Florida on my show.
I had done at Mount Everest Base Camp, so I made that achievement. I knocked that off my bucket
What?
list. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Oh my
and then
God.
3 weeks after I got back from Nepal is when I
Maybe
did
we should just start a list. What haven't you done? Okay. Let's just start there. No. So we're going to actually kick it back to Paulette. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Pamela.
You're
we're going to
welcome.
come back to you in a second
Yes.
to wrap it up. But my producer here is telling me time to wrap it. So tell everyone, first I want you to talk about, because we had talked about before the show, about something, fun little fact about Defuniak Springs, and then you're going to tell us where people can find you, your website, your Facebook, your
Absolutely.
live stream, whatever.
No, my mom and dad were both born in Defuniak Springs, and I think just what I had shared before is that it's the third roundest lake in the world.
Third
which is kinda
roundest
cool.
lake in the world. Man-made
yeah.
lake. Do they fish? Do people use it? I mean, it's, I'm sure.
I think
Like
so, but I don't really know.
Boats? I don't know. Can it hold a boat?
I've never really.
I don't know.
But anyways,
I haven't
yeah,
been to Defuniak in forever. I know they have a wine something out there.
they
But,
do the
yeah.
Chautauqua. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
made with scuppernons. It's a little bit sweet
Very
and sour
sweet
for,
if it's scapanons, yeah.
for some people.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell us where they can find you and
Absolutely. So if you are interested in the catering, the pastries, www.nouvocatering.com. And I always spell Nouveau, N-O-U, V as in Valentine, E-A-U, catering.com. Of course, she knows Nouveau because il parle français aussi. So, yeah, she speaks French as well. So it's also,
my gosh.
so anyways, and or you can check out my Naughty to Nice, which is www.naughty2nice.com, and it has all my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel. I do a live stream
what is
Tuesday
that
nights.
Twitch? What is that?
I know everybody asks, like, what is a Twitch? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really the demographic is like 18 to 20-something-year-old males. So I get some interesting people in there. They don't know
But
about
they
the
love
nice.
food.
They don't know about the nice. They don't know. So I have to like rein them in. But anyways, yeah. So I do a live
I mean, is
stream
that
on
a YouTube? Or
it is
where's
okay.
Twitch?
So it is a live stream, and it's an up and coming cooking one. Okay, but mostly
okay.
people play video games. So like all the little gamers
Oh,
play.
gotcha. Okay.
People jump in and they comment in. So I live stream on Tuesday nights and Thursday mornings. And you can come hang out and just watch what I'm doing.
I know, I
and,
love your live
know,
streams. You have your coffee and you're
it's a
walking around. I
blast.
know,
Oh
it's
my
so
gosh,
cute.
I have a lot of fun. So yeah, so that's how you can check me out. And
very
hey,
cool.
by the way, I don't know if I've got a second, but I'll tell you guys what every single lady needs as a gift.
Definitely.
Okay, for Christmas, and you will lose weight, de-stress, etc. with this one little
Dish
gift.
it, dish
Yeah,
it.
every
Spill
man.
the tea. How do
I
they
mean,
say it
come
now?
on,
Spill the
ready?
tea.
It's this.
What does that say?
It's a no button.
No
Every
button.
woman needs a no button.
Do not stick
If you
that
can
next
just
to my
learn
wine
to
bottle.
say
No!
So I promise you, all those accomplishments she made, we're not ready without. And
No,
some,
no.
Yeah.
some eternal no
That
button.
is hilarious.
So you got to check out this. Make sure you get your wife a gift. All women
I love
need
that.
That is
no.
so cute.
We all need a no button, right?
Yes,
no
we
to
do.
food, no to people, no to things. Good Lord. I mean, have
know.
y'all ever been to so many Christmas
No
parties in
is
your
a
life?
complete sentence.
I mean, come on.
I know. So,
anyway.
Hilarious.
well, thank you so much. And
very
Pamela.
welcome.
Yes.
So what is your websites or what are your any contact information and a fun fact about you? You've told us so much, God. There. I don't know. It's like, what other language do you speak? What
Yeah.
other competition have you won? I don't
I know,
know.
right?
I know.
Oh, I have a good fun fact.
Okay,
So,
cool.
years ago, so my younger years, I was a bit of an athlete. So I was the first female amateur boxer in East Canada. So
That is so
I've
funny.
had 9 fights and no losses. So.
My fun fact is I used to be a boxing judge for the state of Georgia.
Well, there you
Really?
go.
Well, I'm going
See?
to be careful what I say.
That was a
Right.
long time ago, but yes, it's
Well, that
it's a
was
fun
my
fact.
event that I took to Mosul, Iraq, was
Okay.
an MMA event. So
Oh, how
I know.
fun.
So, well, very
I
cool.
may
Yes.
have been in a bar fight, but I didn't get an award. I just got kicked out.
It was fun. I did the boxing and MMA judging for
That's
the state of Georgia.
fantastic.
Very cool. But this was quite
Yeah.
a few years ago. So.
Yeah, I hear you. Hear you on the years ago.
Great
Yeah.
fun fact. Oh my God.
Yes, but you can find, if you want to learn more about my nonprofit, which is Mission Wonder Women, you can go missionwonderwomen.org. And then also this year I'm about to launch actually my magazine here in the area.
Oh, cool. And we will have this on the link on the
Yeah,
show
so-
too, but definitely show it to.
Yeah. So it was always Wellness and Wisdom, and I've actually just rebranded to Women Who Do Wonders, the magazine. Wow. But it will showcase not only women from the region, but also women around the world. And the next issue actually features my interview with Marielle Hemingway and Adrian Hazlitt, who's the Boston bombing survivor. And then also always looking for our amazing women here in Northwest Florida. So please hit me up. You can find me on all social platforms. And then you can also check out womenwhodowonders.com.
Very cool. And I love Deshawn Barber. What's her name? I need to send you a Wonder Woman's name. She was in the Army, I think.
Fantastic.
Anyway, but she also did either fitness competitions or.
Well, I get
things.
even more excited if it's a veteran and a military spouse.
Yes, she's amazing. So there are a ton of veterans, women's in this area that do amazing things. So
Wonderful.
And I will say, I'm just going to throw it out there, Michelle Saltzman. I'm sure
Yes.
you've met her, but she
I have.
would be her story, and I've had her on the show. I've told her to her face. Her story is just amazing. So
Fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you two ladies, Paulette Martin
Thank you.
and Pamela Bolado.
Thank you.
So happy holidays, everybody. Everybody wave.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more fun shows in 2023. I know I get into kind of deep politics or deep issues sometimes, but I am looking forward to doing a lot more fun shows. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you to my guest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. What an honor.